From the quarterfinals, it's now time for semifinal Saturday here at J.J. Isaacson Field at Seymour Smith Park. The number 1 seed, the Royal Blue Dogs, coasting in a comeback victory against the Omaha Black Sox, taking on the Filthballers, who just took down the Rail Riders last night in a back-and-forth matchup. As we welcome you here into the booth today, my name's Arnav. I'm joined by the one and only Mike Knockenhauer, who makes all of these beautiful graphics you see for us. Sorry, Mike, I had to give you your props here as we look at this semifinal ahead of us. Number 1 seed, number 4 seed, both of them expected to win their matchups and did, but in a very different way for both of them. The number 1 seed, the Filthballers, the Royal Blue Dogs, excuse me, Michael, a comeback victory for them. What an incredible game that was.
It was a great game. They held the Black Sox to only one hit, which that hit did bring across 2 runs, but other than that, it was a great pitching performance from Garrett Seamson going the entire game. I think we see a lot more of that, as that's what the Blue Dogs do, is if they don't beat you with offense, they're going to beat you with defense.
And on the other side for the Filthballers, they just played last night in that sweltering heat. You can only imagine how fatigued and how much energy these players lost last night. What do you think they did over the night and over the course of this morning to try and prepare themselves for another game today, albeit it's a little bit cooler out there?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot cooler tonight. Still pretty warm out there, but whenever you play in a game like that, your coach is always going to tell you to just replenish fluids as much as you can the night before, because it takes a long time for any water you take in to go back into your system. So the Filthballers coach, his message to his team was just going to be replenish fluids, drinking water left and right all night last night.
Yeah, pregame chat with Francisco, just about the same thing you said. A lot of electrolytes, a lot of water. He's telling his guys to make sure they stay hydrated for that game today. But let's take a look at how each of these teams got here. The 1 versus 8 game, like we talked about before this, a comeback victory for the Royal Blue Dogs, who advanced. And then for the Filthballers, they won 8-5 against the Rail Riders. It was a big bottom half inning for them. I believe in the 4th inning, they scored 5 runs in that half inning to propel them to that 8-5 victory. And they'll take on the Red Raiders in the championship game, who just won 3-0. That game tomorrow at 6 p.m. We'll have that right here on the Corn Belt League Network. But what are you looking at for the winners of this 2 games? How do you think each of these teams matches up with those Red Raiders with that deep pitching arsenal?
It's going to be hard, but I think the Blue Dogs probably match up better because they do have more of that pitching depth, as you were talking about. They do have the league's lowest ERA with a 2.33 coming into the playoffs. As a team, that's incredible. So if you can continue that, like I said, if the Blue Dogs, if you're unable to beat them with offense, they're going to beat you with defense. But as you said, the Red Raiders with that deep pitching arsenal, I think it's going to be a really interesting game. And on the Filthballer side, it's very more balanced offense and defense, but it would be interesting to see how both of those teams would match up.
And it's hard to talk about the Filthballers without bringing up their legacy. But we'll talk about that more during the game as we take a deeper look into this Filthballers quarterfinal against the Rail Riders. They had, well, like we said, the back and forth with that big bottom half, the 4th inning, that propelled them to that 8-5 victory. Our standout player last night, the player I had the pleasure of interviewing, it's always great to have him up here, Matthew Rivers, an incredible night for him.
Yeah, 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs, just continuing to do what he usually did. But if you can see the box score there, you see the Rail Riders put on 2 in the 2nd, the Filthballers answered right back with 2 of their own. A run in the 3rd for the Rail Riders, Filthballers back right with another one. Rail Riders put one on the 4th. Filthballers punched him in the mouth with a 5 spot in the bottom of the 4th and then just kept their foot on the gas the rest of the way, as that kind of took a lot of the air out of the any momentum the Rail Riders had, and it helped the Filthballers to propel themselves to an 8-5 victory.
And it wasn't a bad showing for pitcher Carson Burnett. You do see the 4 earned runs, the 8 hits given up, and you say, oh, that's a little bit iffy for your starter, but his offense backed him up, and well, he's also a hitter as well. He's going to play today. He's playing 3rd base today as Burnett, and we'll make sure we talk about him being a 2-way player. As we take a look on the other side for the Royal Blue Dogs and the Black Sox, like we said, comeback victory. They didn't score their first run of the game until that bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, they didn't. They were shut out for a while. The Black Sox, which they got a good 5 innings out of Trevor Storer, eventually ended up with 2 earned runs. But other than that, it was a great showing from him. And going back to the Rail Riders and the Black Sox, both 2 of the top offenses in the league, so they were 5 and 8 seeds respectively, but these 2 teams in the Filthballers and Royal Blue Dogs had to play 2 very potent offenses here in the quarterfinals, so they're going to have to adjust to a more balanced offense here tonight for both sides.
We'll take a quick break here on the Corn Belt League Network for the national anthem here at the field. But when we return, it's first pitch in the 2nd semifinal here on Semifinal Saturday. Myself, Arnav, Pokhrel, Mike Knockenhauer beside me. We'll be right back on the Corn Belt League Network. Don't go anywhere. Back here at J.J. Isaacson Field at Seymour Smith Park, myself, Arnav, Pokhrel, alongside Mike Knockenhauer. And we're getting set for a good one here, the 1-versus-4 matchup in the second semifinal. The winner of this one going on to take on the number 3 seed, the Omaha Red Raiders. As we take a look at the starting pitcher for today, Ryan Malone is the guy that the Blue Dogs turned to. 23 and a third innings pitched this season, 1.16 ERA over 8 appearances, 1.37 whip, 33 strikes, to 18 walks. Mike, an incredible number. He only has 8 appearances, but that 1.16 ERA really sticks out.
Yeah, second lowest ERA on the team and a 1.37 whip, and then almost a 2-to-1 ratio of strikeouts to walks over 23 innings pitched. This, I believe, is his, he has 8 appearances. All 8 of them have been starts, so this is his 9th start on the year, and this is when the Royal Blue Dogs need him the most.
Yeah, and we talked to Coach Vern Hasty before the game, talking about how the Royal Blue Dogs did get that extra day off, and for them it was all about resting and recovering. I think Coach Vern Hasty himself stayed inside all day. He told all of his players to do exactly the same. Same thing that the Filthballers did, hydrate, but they just got that extra day to do it as well. As we get closer and closer to first pitch, we'll run you down the Filthballers lineup when we get the chance, but the leadoff man is Brendan Hillis, wearing the number 2 and playing the shortstop today for the Filthballers. Hillis plays at Iowa Central Community College as well. And he'll take the first pitch.
It's a 4-pitch mix for Ryan Malone. He uses his fastball the most, but he also has a slider, a curve, and a changeup all in his arsenal. So interesting to see what he will be able to do with that here against this tough Filthballers lineup.
Looks at ball 2. Does Hillis. And Hillis has been the leadoff guy for the Filthballers for a majority of the season as he takes ball 3. Somebody who can get on base at a high clip for this Filthballer side, and then has a little bit of speed to run around the bases as well.
Yeah, good 3-for-4 day against the Rail Riders back yesterday in their quarterfinal matchup. Hillis had 2 doubles along with a single. He scored twice and had an RBI. Did have an error over there at short, but something that you can always clean up.
Fouls that one off for a full count, and after going down 3-0, starting pitcher Ryan Malone has worked it back to a 3-2 count. Malone just finished up his second season at McCook County Community College, but a local product of ours here in the Corn Belt League. Just graduated just 25 minutes northwest of here from Bennington High School before heading over to McCook. Here's the payoff pitch in a 3-2. Contact made from Hillis. It's going to get through the gap between the shortstop and the third baseman. And it'll be a leadoff single for Brendan Hillis, squeezing one past Stribling and Washburn.
Yeah, Hillis just chopped that one over to the left side, and it just took a weird bounce there on the kind of the transition from the grass to the infield here at Seymour Smith Park, as that one just took a bad bounce over the glove of Stribling over there at third, and a good leadoff at bat for Brendan Hillis.
That'll bring up Carson Burnett, and like we mentioned yesterday, he's the pitcher, and he ropes this one into left field. Takes the first pitch he sees and goes left field with it, and it's 2 on early for the Filthballers.
Yeah, these Filthballers hitters attacking Malone early. They both, the 1-2 hitters for this Filthballers team would have combined 4 for 6 from the plate. Neither of them struck out yesterday against the Rail Riders, and then it brings up one of their most powerful hitters in Matthew Rivers.
Rivers gets contact, and he hits one over the shortstop. A chance to go home for Hillis. Instead, he's held up at third. Another first pitch hit there for the Filthballers, and they've got the bases loaded with no outs here early in the first inning.
That's exactly what this Filthballers team wanted to do to start things off. Already bases loaded with nobody out, as they have just attacked Malone. The last 2 at-bats have just been first pitch swinging singles on a line drive just over the head of the shortstop. And it brings up Anthony Nino, the cleanup man.
Nino, the cleanup man, hasn't hit for the highest batting average this season, but has really picked it up as of late. Looks at the first pitch, a strike in there for 0-1.
Nino only a 192 average coming into today, but he does have the most RBIs on the team with 12, so definitely one of the guys you want up in this kind of situation here early in the game.
2 runners in scoring position. Bases juice for Nino. Big swing from Nino. He misses 0-2. Here's the 0-2 contact for Nino. A chance for a double play if it can turn quickly. The throw in the dirt. And it's 1 run for the Filthballers. Nino gets in on an infield hit.
Yeah, Washburn over there at short, that was going to be a tough play regardless of how he fielded it. But when he tried to make the throw over to first, he slipped with his plant foot, and that threw the ball off target. And another, this time an infield single. And it's 1-0 Filthballers just like that.
An early lead for the Filthballers. Brings up Cy Patterson, the second baseman. Still no outs and bases juiced. Patterson makes contact, but it runs foul for 0-2. Another 0-2 count for the Filthballer hitters, but last time that happened, Nino hit one to the shortstop for an infield hit.
These Filthballers are seeing Malone really well to start this game off. Already 4 hits. Still no outs recorded.
Here's the 0-2. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. And it's in the dirt for 1-2. Chance to go again for Malone. Already given up 1 run, and the base is loaded. Here's the 1-2. Big swing and a miss from Nino, and that's strike 3. So Malone gets his first out of the ball game as Cy Patterson walks back to the bench.
That looked to be Malone's fastball that he loves to throw, as he just threw it on the up and out part of the plate, just away. And he got Patterson to chase, and that's a big first out there for Malone.
It'll bring up Lyndon Brugman, left fielder. Hit sharply to first. Going home with it is Mahacek. It throws high, but the tag is applied for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, Mahacek fielded it cleanly over there at first. Maybe was going to be able to get the double play if the throw was on line, but plenty of time for Van Pelt to jump, catch it, step on home, and 2 away now for the Blue Dogs, and it'd be huge if they can get out of this inning with only 1 run of damage.
Bases still loaded.
It's a good pitch there from Malone on the to open this one up against Peyton Larson, one of the better hitters on this Filthballers lineup. Larson shoots this one over to short. Throw on to first from Washburn's off line. Rivers comes in to score. So that's going to be a throwing error from Washburn over there at short. And it will keep this inning going, and it's now 2-0 Filthballers. So Larson reaches on an error. Rivers comes in to score. Everyone else moves up 90 feet. Bases remain loaded as the Filthballers have jumped out to a quick 2-0 lead. Brings up Corey Bantam. He shoots this one to Will Johnson at second, flips it over to Washburn for the easy force out at second, but not before the Filthballers bring across 2. We'll head to the bottom of the first, see if the Blue Dogs can respond here on the Corn Belt League Network.
back on here at the bottom of the first inning as we take a look at the pitcher for the Omaha Filthballers, Jeff Miller. And we take a closer look at him throughout this season. Only 2 appearances. He's a late addition to this Filthballers side, but both of them have been pretty good appearances for Miller. 8 innings pitched, a 1.13 whip, and about a 1-to-1 strike-to-walkout ratio. What do you see from him, Mike?
I see a lot of, as you can see here, it's only a 3-pitch mix. He throws his fastball the most, then he has a change and a slider. So be expecting to see that fastball a lot, but he can also mix in those other 2 into his arsenal. As you said, a newer addition to this Filthballers team. With the battery tonight, it's going to be Jeff Miller and Anthony Nino behind the plate against this powerful, hard-hitting Blue Dogs offense. But as we said, Blue Dogs will beat you with defense or offense, which is what has propelled them to the #1 seed.
Leadoff man for the Royal Blue Dogs, TJ Silliman, the center fielder. Looks at the first pitch for 1-0. This one right back up the gap into center field, and Silliman will head to first base.
It's a great first AB there from Silliman. Turned on a pitch that he liked, and he shot it right back up the middle, and that's a good start for this Blue Dogs offense, especially after giving up 2 in the top half.
Yeah, they've got their work cut out for them. Obviously, a lot of baseball left to be played, but you don't want to let the Filthballers gain momentum early on. Here's Washburn. Check back over to first.
Yeah, this Blue Dogs offense has 3 guys who are hitting above 300 on the year. Silliman being one of them, and the next guy coming up is Johnson over on the on-deck circle. Miller finds the zone on the first pitch he throws against Carter Washburn, who had an error back in the first inning that allowed a run to come across, but looks to make up for himself here against Jeff Miller in the bottom half. He'll see ball 1 upstairs. Blue Dogs team, as we said, a come-from-behind win against the Black Sox back on Thursday, so they are on a day of rest opposed to the Filthballers, who played yesterday afternoon in the heat, as Miller with a good pickoff move over to first. Silliman diving back in safely. Miller the 1-1. Good breaking ball there from the right-hander, and it's 1-2. As we said, the 3-pitch mix, the fastball, changeup, and slider from Miller, as it looked to be a slider there that kind of broke at the knees of Washburn, and as Miller into a 1-2 count, Silliman takes off. High fastball from Miller is fouled off to the fence. We'll do the 1-2 once again.
Silliman's got a little bit of speed there over at first. He's got a couple of stolen bags on the year, as Washburn settles back in on the 1-2. Runner goes, and he'll make it over there to second in time.
9th bag stolen on the year for Silliman. That is it will break a tie with Christian Berry for 3rd most on the team. But unlike Berry, who has got caught stealing 4 times, Silliman is yet to be caught stealing on the year.
It's always nice when your leadoff man can steal bags with efficiency.
It's usually what you look for in a leadoff guy, is someone with speed and who can put the bat on the ball and get on base early.
Full count here for Washburn. No outs in the bottom of the first. Contact made, but it's going to go into foul territory. Rivers will not be able to get there in time. It's going to go out of play.
As I always say, these guys earlier in the game are going to be told to try and have quality at-bats, run the pitch count up on the starter, because the earlier you can get a team to go to their bullpen is a really big stepping stone if you want to try and get a victory.
We'll do the full count again here. Taken low, gunning over to third in time, but tag not applied.
So we were saying Silliman now 10 stolen bases on the year. The throw beat him, but he was able to kind of maneuver his way around it. There's runners on the corners now with no away for the best hitter on this team in Will Johnson.
Will Johnson, the second baseman, with runners on the corners. You got to expect here Washburn's going to go over and take second here anytime. Right on cue, runner goes. Trying to fake the throw was Nino.
Blue Dogs third in the Corn Belt League coming into today. Started the day with 83 stolen bases, make that 86 already with 3 today. Here only in the first inning, and now tying run already to second, and no outs here in the bottom half of the first.
Swung on and contact made to the third baseman. Throw to first in time. Rivers gets the out, and the Filthballers retain all runners. So good defensive stand there from the Omaha Filthballers.
Yeah, Burnett kind of bobbled it over there at third, but a good job of getting his body in front of the ball, knocking it down. Looked back the runner at third and made a throw over to first and keeps both runners at bay, which is huge. And he gets the first out of the bottom half of the first here for the Filthballers defense.
Yeah, it's a good defensive play, and mine must have been racing there right after he bobbled that ball and able to calm himself down, check the runner, and make the throw over to first all in time. Great defensive play there from Burnett.
That's something you look for in a fielder, is just able to stay composed, especially when you mess up, not let any sort of errors rattle you, just kind of move on to the next play, and in that case, make the play.
Contact made, way foul, way behind us here in the press box for 1-1. The 1-1 in there for strike two, 1-2. Pitch low, it's going to get away from Nino, and coming in to score is Silliman.
That looked like a kind of like a back foot breaking ball that just skipped away from Nino behind the plate. Tried to get his body in front of it, but I would believe that would go down as a passed ball there behind the plate. Maybe more of a wild pitch. It kind of was spiked right in front of Nino, as it was a hard play, but skips to the backstop, and Royal Blue Dogs get one of those runs back, and they're threatening with a guy on third.
Big cut here from Peterson, but it's foul, and we'll do the 2-2 again.
Peterson on the lower end of the RBI total on this team, but if he can put his bat on one here, pretty much anywhere would tie this game up and give him his 4th RBI in the year.
Another foul ball here from Peterson. Still got Washburn at third. Chance to tie it up if he can put this one in play out of the infield. Makes contact with this one into left field. It's going to fall for a single, and it'll score Washburn.
That's a great at-bat there from Peterson. Just found a pitch he liked and went oppo with it right in front of the left fielder in Brugman. And the second hit of the game for the Blue Dogs brings across their second run of the game. And just like that, we've got ourselves a tie ball game.
Peterson with the game-tying RBI here in the bottom of the first, and it'll bring up Ryan Malone, the pitcher. Big cut on the first one for 0-1. And you got to think for Malone here, you go out, you give up 2 in the top of the first. To see yourself at the plate here with those 2 runs already back, it's a big confidence boost.
And especially with the opportunity to give yourself the lead going back out there on the mound. It's a good piece of hitting here. Could advance the runner to third or even score him. So if you're Malone here, you're thinking, put the bat on the ball and I might help myself out on the defensive end with my pitching.
Well, he's getting the bat to the ball, but in foul territory that one goes. So it'll be 0-2 now for Malone with 1 away. On deck is Cannon Dumont, the extra hitter. Here's the 0-2. Runner goes. Throw down in time. Got him. Great pop from Nino. And they've got Peterson away.
Peterson, not necessarily the guy you would expect to steal. He's attempted to steal 4 times this year, and that's already the 3rd time he's gotten caught stealing. And it wipes away the go-ahead run and gives the Filthballers 2 outs here on defense.
Now the 0-2, a chance to put away Malone, and then instead it'll be 2-2.
It's a huge out there from Miller, who's already up to 24 pitches. Be huge if he could get out of the inning here.
Instead, we'll go full. 3-2 with 2 outs. For Malone, he'll step back in with a full count. After starting 0-2, he's worked it all the way back to a full count, which is good quality at-bat here from Ryan Malone. That one away, so Malone will head over to first, and it'll bring up Cannon Dumont, the extra hitter for the Royal Blue Dogs.
It's a great at-bat there from Malone. Already, believe it to be 4 of the 5 Royal Blue Dogs hitters that have come up have had quality at-bats. There's another one from Malone, and go-ahead run now on first for the extra hitter in Dumont.
Dumont, the extra hitter. Makes contact with the first pitch foul and just over the hand of Royal Blue Dogs head coach Vern Hasty on the left side. As we get set here with the 0-1 between Dumont and Miller. Runner goes again, a chance for Nino to get his second putout. And he dropped the ball over there at second. Not in time, and advancing is Malone. Putting himself in scoring position with 2 strikes and 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning.
Patterson, with a great throw from Nino, just unable to finish out the tag. You think he pulled away his glove and tried to tag Malone a little too quickly, and the ball just popped out of his glove. It allows Malone to move into scoring position.
Got to see that ball all the way through, especially a good throw like that from Nino. As here's the 0-2, still a chance to end it here for Miller. And he does. Strikeout looking for Jeff Miller on Cannon Dumont, and that'll do it here for the first inning. But the Royal Blue Dogs get 2 back. It's all tied up as we head to the top of the second on the Corn Belt League Network. Back here at J.J. Isaacson Field as we get set for the top of the second inning between the Royal Blue Dogs and the Filthballers. Filthballers due up. They took a 2-0 lead in the top of the first, but gave it up in the bottom of the first. They'll try and gain it back here as we get set to return the action. Ryan Malone still out there for the Royal Blue Dogs after giving up 2. And we'll bring up Tristan Brandt. Talking about this last night with Tristan Brand with the sweltering heat yesterday as he makes contact with this one, drives it into the field and to right center, and he's advancing to first. Long turn at second, but he'll retreat back to first and take the single. Talking about that flowing hair of his and how he had to deal with that during the heat, but doesn't bother him here as he gets a single to lead off the top of the second inning, and the Filthballers pick up right where they left off in the first.
Yeah, Tristan Brandt perfectly splits the gap out there in right center. First pitch he sees, turns on it, goes directly into the gap. So there's another first pitch strike there from Malone. Back in that first inning, he only threw, even though he gave up 2 runs, only threw 21 pitches. But he had a strike rate of 86%. And out of the 10 batters he's faced so far, 9 of them have been first pitch strikes. He's only thrown 3 balls to these Filthballers hitters so far.
He can throw strikes, but the Filthballers are going to make contact with them as well. Already 5 hits for the away side, including that one by Brandt. It's Dane Garner up. Concordia University of Nebraska product who played his high school ball at Miller North High School. Up now with Brandt on first. Makes contact with one, but sends it foul for 1 and 2.
Malone's been staying ahead in the count. And if he can capitalize on that and start punching guys out and forcing them to pop up or ground out, it's going to be a very strong performance for him going forward.
Garner makes contact with this one, but it's high and into shallow right center. Calling off everyone and dropping it and forcing the play at second is the Royal Blue Dogs right fielder, Jake Butler. And Butler will get Brandt out at second for technically the fielder's choice. And I don't know how to feel about that one. I think you get the out right. You keep Brandt at first, get Garner out, because now Garner's got a little bit more speed there on first as well.
Yeah, if you're Brandt, not much you can really do there. I mean, you're taught to go halfway, but Butler was just brought so far in that he couldn't really get halfway off. And I think Butler might have lost it to the sun at the last second, just bounced off kind of the the wrist part of his glove, but is able to just throw it over to second. But now, as you said, Garner is a little quicker on the base paths. This is a Filthballers team who's not known so much about their speed on the base paths, with only 45 stolen bases on the year, which is 7th in the league. But Garner up there with 6, which is 2nd on the team, and Brandt with only 2. So, I mean, you are exchanging a faster guy for an out.
This one hit sharply by the leadoff man, Hillis, who's back up here in the top of the 2nd inning. The Royal Blue Dogs got through 8 of their 10 hitters in the top of the 1st, so you're bound to see Hillis again here in the top of the 2nd. Here's the 1-2 with Garner on first, and 1 away. Watches it low for 2-2.
So you were saying that Royal Blue Dogs got through 8 of their hitters. That's definitely a much more offensive game than we thought it was going to be. I mean, both these teams brought out some of their best pitching, but it's been the bats that have been the highlight of this game so far. But these Filthballers hitters just continue to foul pitches off. And Malone continues to have a very high strike rate. It's up to 30 pitches now, but 25 of them being strikes.
Runner goes in Garner. Trying to hit and run were the Filthballers, and you can see Hillis's disappointment with how that one turned out, a foul ball. Here's the 2-2, it's high. Now full count worked by Hillis. Here's the full count. Runner goes, and it'll be a walk anyway. So Gardner just got to second a little bit faster than he would have normally, as Hillis heads back over to first.
That's a great at-bat there from Hillis. As now you're back at the top of the order. As Hillis the leadoff guy, but now you back to your number 2 hitter, and Carson Burnett, who first pitch he saw lined it into left for a single, and now you got 2 on with only 1 away. So a chance to jump back out in front if you're the Filthballers.
You know, let's say the second or third time through the lineup, so always a little bit harder for pitchers. Well, Malone was getting hit off on the first time through the lineup, so you can only imagine what these Filthballers hitters are thinking as they go through the lineup for the second time. That one drops in there for a strike. It's 1-1.
I mean, usually, yeah, if you see opponents' batting averages for pitchers, it gets worse with each time through the order. But in this situation, if you're Malone, you're hoping that's not the case, and you're maybe thinking through how differently you'll approach these hitters.
Over to first, and they got him. But advancing the runners, Garner over to third, and Hillis over to second is Burnett, and he'll walk slowly back to the dugout with 2 away.
Not necessarily the worst case scenario for Hillis. I mean, it is the second out of the inning, but you were able to move both runners into scoring position, especially for a guy like this coming up in Matthew Rivers.
Yeah, Matthew Rivers from DMAC, Des Moines Area Community College. Big cut from the first pitch, but he'll miss it, and he'll step out on the 0-1.
And Rivers singled back in the first and came around to score. And he's got a really good opportunity here to help the Filthballers get back out in front.
Check swing, but it's going to be a strike anyways for 0-2. Over the course of the playoffs, Rivers is 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Here's the 0-2 with 2 outs for Rivers. Up and away for 1-2. Here's a 1-2 for Rivers, looking to protect the plate. look back, and it'll be 2-2. Malone not happy with that call. He takes a long walk off the mound before resetting for the 2-2. Big swing and a miss there from Rivers, and he'll strike out. The Filthballers leave two stranded as the score remains the same, 2-2. We'll see what the Royal Blue Dogs can provide here in the bottom of the second when we return. Back here at J.J. Isaacson as we get set for bottom of the second action. The number one seed, the Royal Blue Dogs, did it throughout the regular season, now doing it in a high-intensity single-elimination tournament, but talking to Coach Vern Hasey before the game, he thinks the job's already been done. No pressure in these games. They've already won the championship. That matters. But they're still going to try for this one. Is kind of what he told me before the game. He said, these guys battled for a whole summer, and they won the championship. That truly counts in my heart, but I'm still going to push them to keep on winning. Pitch misses for 1-1. Up to bat right now is Logan Stribling for the Royal Blue Dogs. The third baseman watches another strike for 1-2.
Stribling, one of the better hitters on this team with a 286 average. 14 for 49 on the year.
As that one plunks Stribling in the back, and he'll trot on over to first. So Stribling, the leadoff man here in the bottom of the second, is on. And it'll bring up Jake Butler, the right fielder.
I mean, if you're Stribling in this situation, it hurts, but you'll take it because you were down 1-2, but get plunked right in the back, and now you're on first with no outs.
Back to first. They got him in time, but the throw is not there in time.
That one was really close as Stribling was able to get his hand back in there just in time, but a great throw there from Nino behind the plate.
Yeah, Nino trying the back pick, but just missed out. Trying to pick him off again at first, but to no avail as the count remains 0-1. Miller resets. Here's the 0-1. Contact made. It's a high fly ball in foul territory. Playable for Rivers if he can find it, and he does. First out in the bottom of the second.
That's a good pitch there from Miller. It was kind of it looked like a low changeup kind of. And Jake Butler just tried to reach down and get it, and he popped it right up in foul territory, and an easy play over there at first for Rivers for the first out of the inning.
It'll bring up the lefty Van Pelt here for the Royal Blue Dogs. He'll take the first pitch and make contact with it, looking through the gap, and it gets through the gap there between the shortstop and the third baseman, advancing, dribbling over to second.
It's a great piece of hitting there from Van Pelt as he just snuck it right in between the 5-6 gap, just out of the reach of Hillis. And it puts 2 runners on for the bottom of the lineup in Trace Mahacek.
Mahacek started the season hot for these Royal Blue Dogs, was a key part of that first 8-2 run that the Royal Blue Dogs went on to start the season. But since that good run of form for the Royal Blue Dogs, his form has kind of cooled off as they got into the later weeks of June and then the month of July. But no better time to turn it around than now if you're Trace Mahacek, the Doan man. There's a quick conversation happening there.
So it looked like they were going to bring in Carson Krogolski in as a courtesy runner for the catcher Jackson Van Pelt, but a little bit of a conversation there between Vern Hasty and the base umpire, and Van Pelt trots back out there, and he'll remain at first for Trace Mahacek. If you're the Filthballers, you're thinking double play balls in order. It'd be huge if we can get a ground ball to finish things out here in the inning.
Mahacek takes a look at ball 1 with 2 on and 1 away. And like you said, triple play ball still in order. They only need 2. But any base in the outfield can provide a force out.
And especially after that long first inning for Miller, it'd be huge if he can get off the field here with cutting down his pitch count a bit, as obviously you want your starter to go as long as they can go. And in this situation, Miller's going to have a little bit of a tougher time after that longer first inning.
Pitch in there, just missing low and away for 2-1.
Miller already sitting at 38 pitches on the evening. Not ideal if you're only through an inning and a third.
Contact from Mahacek. It's sharply hit over to head coach Vern Hasty. But it's in foul territory, so it'll be 2-2 again. As the Doan product steps back in to the batter's box. Strike 3, got him looking for Miller, and it's a huge strikeout to push the Royal Blue Dogs to 2 outs.
Mahacek really didn't like that call, but home plate umpire gives Miller that outside part of the plate, and a huge second out there from the right-hander. His second strikeout on the evening on a great pitch there that just caught enough of the plate for the home plate umpire to punch out Mahacek.
First pitch well inside on the leadoff man, Silliman. Really sticks out on this Royal Blue Dogs team with that red helmet, red cleats. Just does not match the color scheme of the Royal Blue Dogs at all, but it makes them stand out as the leadoff man for the Royal Blue Dogs steps in on the 1-0. Contact made sharply through that 5-6 gap again, and Coach Vern Hasty holds up the runner at third. That's dribbling, as the bases are now juiced for the Royal Blue Dogs. They've got Van Pelt at second, Stribling on third, and the man who just hit that sharp single to left field, Silliman, at first.
Settleman already 2 for 2 on the day. He's only seen 4 pitches so far, but put the bat on 2 of those pitches, and he's 2 for 2, and the base is now juiced with 2 outs here for Carter Washburn.
Still anyone's game here in the bottom of the second inning, as 1 out does end the inning. So Miller still can get out of this jam with relative efficiency, although his pitch count is pretty high.
Yep, already up to 43 pitches. He's faced now his 12th batter on the evening. This could be a big turning point in this game if you think about it. Miller, if he's able to get a punch out, or if he's able to even just get Washburn to ground out or pop out, it'd be a huge momentum shifter for the Filthballers. And on the other side, more obviously, Royal Blue Dogs, if they're able to get something in play here, give them the lead going into the third inning.
Here's 1-1, sharply to the shortstop, over to second, and the play is made in time, so that will be it for the second inning. Nobody scores, still 2-2 in the 1-4 matchup on semifinal Saturday. Don't go anywhere, we'll have the rest of the game when we return here on the Corn Belt League Network. Back here, Malone still on the mound for the Royal Blue Dogs, as the Filthballers have done well offensively. 5 hits for the team in green.
Malone with 42 pitches through 2 innings. Not ideal, but given that he's given up 2 runs and 5 hits, if you're the Blue Dogs, you'd definitely take that. He's still below 50. And 31 of those 42 have been in there for strikes, so a very high rate of strikes from Malone as he continues it again here with a great breaking ball to start things off.
Nino hit a single to left his last time up in the first inning. Had also scored a run, scored Hillis from third. Big swing and a miss there for 0-2, and Nino adding to his team-leading RBI totals, was at 12 coming in today. Obviously, with that one, pushes him to 13 now on the season. Contact made, but it's foul. It'll be 0-2 again. Both teams put up 2 in the first inning. That's the difference in this one as we sit tied here in the third. Nino now with a 1-2 count. Pitch from Malone just upstairs for 2-2.
Nino responsible for the lone RBI of the Filthballers so far, as the other run came in after, I believe it was Peyton Larson who grounded a ball too short. That he ended up reaching on an errand. Rivers came in to score, so that does not count as an RBI for Larson, but Nino with a RBI single back in the first.
Took that one. Started to walk over, but then realized the count was 2-2, and now it's a full count.
No, I think that Nino thought that was strike three. A beautiful breaking ball there from Malone, but just misses outside.
Here's a full count pitch. It's well inside, and Nino will gladly head over to first base and make way for Cy Patterson. Second baseman struck out swinging with a lunging hack his last time up, and we'll look to have a different fate than that as we do see courtesy runner in here for the Omaha Filthballers.
That's
Number
Cody,
4, Cody Bruce.
Yeah, Cody Bruce coming in as a courtesy runner for the catcher in Nino. That brings up, as you said, the second baseman in Patterson.
Bruce, a pitcher, so see how good he is. Worked on his base running this summer in the Corn Belt League as he steps in for Nino. Pickoff throw back to first, but Bruce is back in time.
Bruce has not attempted to steal any bases this year. As you said, he is a pitcher usually, but out there with a helmet on and a glove on, sliding mid over there at first.
As the count now sits 1-2 for Patterson. Struck out his last time up, looking to avoid that here. Contact made, he fouls it back, and he'll do the 1-2 again.
Bruce had a pretty good jump over there at first, but Patterson keeps fighting pitches off. His count remains at 1-2. Interesting to see if Bruce ends up going again, especially now with the count at 2-2.
I always think it's interesting seeing pitchers who courtesy run in the Corn Belt League. It's kind of a common occurrence here. Maybe they just know when that jump is because they pitch themselves. They have a little bit of that extra edge, having stood in the mound themselves, that they know when to jump and when to jump correctly. Looking strike three. Malone has done it again. He's struck out Patterson for the second time this game, and it'll bring up Lyndon Brugman.
Patterson just looked at a pitch. That was kind of similar to the pitch that Nino thought he had struck out on, but Malone executes it well again for his second strikeout of the evening, and that slider has just been deadly whenever it finds the zone.
Yeah, it's a pitch he goes to second if the fastball isn't locating correctly, but another pickoff throw back to first, trying to check on Bruce. As Brugman steps back in. And the count now sits 0-2. One away here in the top of the third inning. Nino reached first and is now being courtesy ran for by Bruce. And he'll get back another pickoff attempt. See Bruce and Mahacek over there at first. Grounder to second. A chance for two. Second. Over to first in time, but not there in time is Mahacek. Good work from the Royal Blue Dogs infield to get the out at second. The throw to first just a little slow. Thought he had him beat by a step there, but Mahacek just couldn't stretch out far enough to beat Brugman to first.
Yeah, Johnson was waiting back on that one, and it died enough on the grass that Brugman was able to hustle it out over at first. They were able to get the fielder's choice at second, but Brugman just beats out the throw by about half a step over there at first.
Now two away here in the top of the third. Runner on first now, Brugman. Pitch in for strike. Now 1-2 the count. You got to think all those pickoff throws over to first by Malone had a little bit of effect there on Bruce as he held up his run a little bit. Runner goes now, and Brugman sails up. Good athletic play there by Johnson to bring it back down, but a runner now in scoring position for the Filthballers.
Bit of a delayed steal there from Brugman. Caught Van Pelt off guard behind the plate, and his throw sailed nearly over the head of Johnson, and Johnson able to get up there and possibly save an extra base as Brugman was maybe going to be able to move up to third.
Here's a 2-2. 2 away. Cut is foul. In the dirt, maybe, as the Royal Blue Dogs head to the dugout. It looked like a foul from up here, but maybe it was a swing on a pitch in the dirt. And that'll be it for the top of the third inning. An interesting way to end it, but end it we do as we head to a quick break. We'll be right back with the bottom of the third when we return. Back in a warm but not too hot day here in Omaha, Nebraska. And just in case you forgot which league you are watching, there's the Corn Belt League logo for you as we get set for the bottom of the third inning between the Royal Blue Dogs and the Omaha Filthballers. Always good to see a little reminder for you, just in case you forget.
And just in case you forgot where we are playing this game, it's J.J. Isaacson Field
and just in
here
case
at beautiful Seymour Smith Park.
And the score's up there, too, and in the bottom right corner for you. Great work by our camera and technical crews. I want to thank them for helping us out with this broadcast as we get set here for the first pitch at the bottom of the third. It's contact made. It's through the gap between Rivers and the foul line, and turning two here for the Royal Blue Dogs is Will Johnson, and he's still going for three. He's going to get there. No one at third to cover the error, and just like that, first pitch double turned into 3 bags for Will Johnson.
Yeah, Will Johnson, the best hitter on this Blue Dogs team, ropes a double down the line and then gets another 90 feet from the throwing error. And just like that, the go-ahead run is on third base with no outs here for the cleanup man here for the Royal Blue Dogs. In Samuel Peterson here in the bottom half of the third, and already a mound visit. And a guy getting warm out there. As it looks like that's Cody Bruce, who was just out there on the base paths, as he's now, I believe, in the bullpen over there for the Filthballers. It would be not ideal for this visitor team if they have to go to the bullpen this early in the game.
So Johnson over at third. Miller's going to stay out there. Maybe that little base running stint there for Bruce was just a little bit of a dynamic warm-up, getting him warm and ready to go throw in the pen. As Miller steps back on the mound, runner on third is Johnson, and Peterson's at the plate. First pitch misses for 1-0.
We said Cody Bruce up there in the bullpen for the Filthballers.
Contact made, but it goes behind home plate.
Jeff Miller already up to 48 pitches. There are only 2 innings of work so far.
Here's 1-1. Roped into right field, just on the left side of the foul line. It's fair. Single. Rivers trying to apply the tag quickly on Peterson, but 1 run does score for the Royal Blue Dogs. They take a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the third.
Peterson came into this game only with 3 RBIs on the year. He's tacked on 2 more here in just the bottom of the third, and it gives the Blue Dogs their first lead of the night. They take a 3-2 lead and back up to the plate once again. The pitcher in Ryan Malone, who gave up 2 runs in the first inning, but has put up 2 consecutive zeros in the second and third.
Big contact from Malone, but it's into foul territory, playable for the third baseman Burnett, and he'll corral it into his glove for the first out of the inning.
It's been a highly offensive game so far, as we said. Already 11 hits between these two teams. We're not even through 3 innings of play so far. But this one could come down to the wire. A lot of people are going to stay on the edge of their seats, especially since winner of this game goes to the championship game tomorrow night against the Red Raiders, who, as we said, has a very deep pitching arsenal.
The back pick attempt there from catcher Nino. Not in time, and it's an 0-1 count. And you really just got to hope for, Mike, like that incredible semifinal matchup we had last year between the Omaha Bombers and the Omaha Filthballers. 14 innings, final score of what I believe was 15-14 or 16-14, if I'm not mistaken. Throw down to second is off the line, not in time. Runner is safe. That's Peterson advancing into scoring position.
Yeah, Peterson, not the best jump. Nino's throw just a bit off line. Second baseman and Patterson had to come off the base and just unable to swipe Peterson with the tag. Peterson are able to kind of make his way around it, and he's on second in scoring position. Some insurance there for the Blue Dogs.
Foul from Malone. He'll fall behind 1-2 in the count now. Runner on second is Peterson. 1-2 with 1 out. That pitch well outside for 2-2. Like we said, an incredible semifinal game last year. That was another hurdle on the way to the Filthballers earning their 3rd consecutive Corn Belt League championship. They took down the Haymakers in the final last year, but had to take down the Bombers in a thriller of a game, really. That's the only way you can describe it. So many incredible plays. 2 drop balls in right field by both teams because of the sun. A hurdle over the catcher. We really saw it all last year in the semifinals. We hope we can replicate that for you here tonight as well. 15-14 the final score from last year. That pitch stuck in there, but just missing, and it's a walk now for Malone. Not the worst thing in the world to walk here. You now bring that force back at third. As Cannon Dumont heads to the mound. Heads into the batter's box.
Back to that one game, back to that semifinal game we were talking about last year. 33 combined hits between both teams. They went all the way into 11 innings. Remind you, only play 7 here in the Corn Belt League. So played an 8th, a 9th, a 10th, and an 11th inning. We're just looking at the box score here. Just so much offense from both of those teams. What a game, though.
Both of those teams made it to the semifinals again this year, but just on the wrong side of the bracket, as the Bombers on the flip side, as the 7 seed fell to the Red Raiders in the semifinal before us. The winner of this match will take on the Red Raiders tomorrow, Sunday at 6 p.m., right here on the Corn Belt League Network. Sharp contact, a chance to turn 2. The scoop over to second, the throw over to first in time. And there's a side retired, but the Royal Blue Dogs get one back. It's 3-2 in the semifinal. We'll head to the top of the 4th when we return here on the Corn Belt League Network. back here at the Corn Belt League semifinal Saturday here at J.J. Isaacson Field, and Corey Bantam, the designated hitter, up for the Omaha Filthballers from DMAC.
No. It looks like I have.
There's a big swing there from Bantam, but it's short contact. Closing in on it is the third baseman for the Royal Blue Dogs, dribbling, and a throw over to first in time to retire the first batter, Bantam. We'll head back to the Filthballers dugout. It'll bring up Tristan Brent, the extra hitter.
Ball there from Bantam was chopped really high in the air, but a good play there from Stribling to just wait on it to fall into his glove and makes the throw over to first in time. Good first out there from the Royal Blue Dogs defense, but tough play over there at second there from Johnson.
Yeah, another high chopper, but this one gets past the infield for Bantam, and it'll head over, for Brent, who will head over to first. Kind of the same play, a little chopper of ball bouncing high, but just out of the reach of Johnson, and it'll bring up Dane Garner. Garner looks at the first pitch for strike one. With one away here, and Brant on first. Don't really expect Brant to steal here, maybe for a hit and run, as this one's hit high into center field. And making the catch is the center fielder, Silliman. Brant will return to first, and it'll be two away for the Filthballers.
Top of the order coming back up now for the Filthballers. Hillis 1 for 1 on the day with a single, and then he came around to score on 3 more singles from this offense, and then he walked back in the second inning. And he looks to get back on base for the third time in his third plate appearance tonight.
Closing in on halfway through the game, and it's been just about over an hour and 8 minutes since we started, so pretty good pace here between the two sides. Is a 7-inning game. Trying to get it done in under 2 hours is always the goal, but when the offenses are clicking like this and the balls are flying left and right and center, it's always going to run a little long. As here's the 2-0. Contact made into right center, and it's going to drop in. A deep hit ball there from Hillis. He's chugging over to second. Brant's going to be sent home. Hillis is going for 3. And he's in there. Triple for Brendan Hillis to score Brant from first, and just like that, it's all tied up again.
Yeah, that ball was shot into center, and then we had a great view here. It just started tailing away from the center fielder and Silliman, and then split the gap out there in right center all the way to the wall. Brant able to score from first easily, and Hillis flying around the base paths, and an RBI triple from the shortstop leadoff man for the Filthballers has tied this game right back up here at 3 in the top of the fourth.
You want to talk about back and forth, this game between the Filthballers and the Royal Blue Dogs. It's a little too early to say this, but it's kind of shaping up like that semifinal from last year. Carson Burnett, the third baseman and the pitcher for the Filthballers. Watches strike 2. It's now 0-2 in the count. Leading run 90 feet away from the plate Carson Burnett is standing at. Here's the 0-2. Swung on. Contact made. Throw over to first is in time for the third out. So we'll remain tied here in the top of the fourth inning as the Royal Blue Dogs look to regain their lead here at J.J. Isaacson Field. We'll be right back. back here in the Corn Belt League semifinal, and it's a call to the pen for the Omaha Filthballers as they turn the mound over to Cody Bruce. And Mike, what do you know about Cody Bruce?
Not the strongest of numbers from Bruce, but not a lot to work with either, as he's only pitched in 2 games so far. 4 innings of work, but he's given up 6 earned runs, 9 hits. It's a 10.5 ERA with a 3.5 whip, but Filthballers entrusting Bruce here in the bottom half of the 4th as they are tied here looking for a chance to go to the championship game tomorrow night.
Yeah, Bruce from Southeast Community College, so just down the road, 45 minutes from where we're at here at J.J. Isaacson Field. As Bruce steps back on the mound and gets set for his first pitch of the semifinal. First pitch in there for strike 1. Up first is number 4, Jake Butler, the right fielder. Bruce's second pitch is low for 1-1. Here's a 1-1 from Bruce. Catches the inside line for a 1-2.
That was a beautiful breaking ball there from Bruce. Kind of buckled the knees of the hitter even. He's in the head in the count 1-2.
Here's the 1-2 offering. Hit sharply, but right past Vern Hasty over there on the third base line, so it's foul.
Butler fouled out to the first baseman back in the 2nd. He leads things off here in the 4th.
We'll do the 1-2 again. Here's Bruce on the mound. Contact again, and it's another foul ball from Butler. Good battle here at the plate between Jake Butler and Cody Bruce, and Cody Bruce's first at-bat. As we go again on the 1-2 for the 3rd time. Contact again. This one, though, in play for the third baseman. All the way over to first. It's a long throw, but it's in there in time. Burnett to River to get the first out of the inning.
Burnett with a good arm over there at third. The ball kind of took him out of his position to his right side, but he was able to backhand it and put a lot of power behind that throw all the way across the diamond in time, in plenty of time even, for the first out of the inning.
And that'll bring up Jackson Van Pelt, who steps in on the left side. First pitch missing high for ball 1.
Bruce has really been using that breaking ball so far, and it's been working pretty well. It has a lot of movement on it.
Fastball that Van Pelt turns into right field, but making the catch there is Garner for the second out of the inning. And Garner back at right field after yesterday. He was battling the sun, had a couple of drop balls out there and right there where he just kind of lost it in the sun. And fortunately for him and the rest of this Filthballers side, they were able to defeat the Rail Riders. As Trace Mahacek steps back and watches strike 1 go past it.
Northeast facing ballpark here, which means that sun will set right behind third base, which is not ideal if you're out there and right, as it's caused many problems over the years.
Mahacek rips this one down the left field line. It's fair, and Mahacek's turning for 2, but he'll turn around as Brugman got a quick throw back in to hold Mahacek at first. Great contact for the man from Doane, and it's a runner on with 2 away.
It's a great hit there from Mahacek, but a great play out there from in left from Brugman as he raced over, cut that ball down. If that ball gets by him, it's all the way to the wall, and Mahacek most likely gets to second, maybe even third, but is able to cut it down there in left, get it in quickly, and limits Mahacek to only 1 base.
Checking Mahacek back over at first is Bruce, and he'll reset here. with 2 away in the bottom of the 4th inning. All tied up due to 1 run in the top of the 4th from the Filthballers. Good pitch from Bruce, but it misses just low.
You've noticed that Jeff Miller started things off here for the Filthballers, was a righty, but then now they've brought in Cody Bruce, who's a lefty. And if you're got any sort of baseball knowledge, you know that lefties are a lot harder to steal off of. So they can have a lot of trickery. So they do get 45 degrees with their foot. And if they don't cross that plane and don't make any sort of movement towards home plate, they're able to throw over to first. So you got to be careful over there at first if you're Mahacek or any Blue Dog runners.
Here's Bruce again with a 1-1. In there for strike 2. Catches that low inside corner. With a little bit of a off-speed pitch there to catch Silliman off guard. Big swing and a miss there from Silliman, and there goes the side. Bruce steps in and does good work for the Filthballers. It's still 3-3, all tied up in the semifinal. We'll be right back here on the Corn Belt League Network. Back here and back again, leading off an inning for the Filthballers is Matthew Rivers, the man from DMAC who's batting in the 3-hole for this Filthballers side. As yesterday went 2 for 3, 3 RBIs. Part of that Filthballers explosion in the bottom of the 4th inning that scored 5 runs that really set the tone for the rest of the game as count now sits at 1-1. That one low and outside. Good slide from the catcher Dumont. As Rivers gets set back in with a 2-1 count. Watches that one for strike 2. It's now 2-2. Good work there by Dumont behind the dish to frame that one a little bit. Moving from outside to in. So that pitch low, and now it's full count.
Already the 3rd at-bat for Rivers tonight. Singled and came around to score back in the 1st and then struck out swinging to end the 2nd inning. And he finds himself at a full count here in the 5th.
Big swing and a miss from him, just low. He missed on that one as he fouled that one directly back and behind us here in the press box. And Rivers will go again on the full count. This one he'll look at inside and he'll flip the bat over towards the dugout and walk to first base. Rivers, the leadoff man in the inning, is on. It'll bring up Anthony Nino. Nino on the day reached on a walk in the 3rd, but also had a single in the 1st that brought in a run. The first run of the game, in fact, was brought in by Nino. And a quick meeting here between Dumont and Malone. trying to figure out how they want to attack Nino. Dumont sets back into the catcher's position as stepping back into the box is Nino. Pitch missing for 1-0. You try on a pitcher on Nino who's been hot as of late in the month of July, and in the playoffs he's really picked up his batting. His entire batting average has gone up. He started June batting just about 100. Now at 190 after July.
Sorry, Nino, as we said earlier, has the the team lead coming into today with 12, and he's tacked on one more back in the first, so leads the team with 13 RBIs.
Little blooper, and it's a fly out to the pitcher. River almost caught sleeping there, but he gets back just in time and breathes a sigh of relief to keep it at only 1 out in the 5th inning for the Filthballers. As it brings up Cy Patterson, he's struck out twice already today against this very pitcher, Ryan Malone. And he looks at strike 1 again.
Malone continuing to dominate with that high strike percentage. So it's a little lower than it was in the earlier innings, but it's up to 69.4% strike percentage. And 17 of his 23 batters, he's started off with a strike.
A little bit of action here in the Royal Blue Dogs bullpen now that we're seeing Malone slowly run out of gas here. It's Connor Burress, who on the season has 26 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 21 runs total, but only 9 earned runs given up for Burress. Runner goes, it's River. The throw is in time, but is River in there? No, he is not. They got him.
It's a great throw there from Van Pelt behind the dish. And just perfectly placed. It went just over the head of Malone, but right on the bag. And a great tag there from Johnson at second.
Big swing and a miss, and right after the throw out, they get the strikeout. His 3rd consecutive strikeout at the dish as Cy Patterson walks off, and Ryan Malone celebrates with his teammates. It remains 3-3. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Malone had his celebrations on the mound after striking out Cy Patterson for the 3rd time in a single game, but can the Royal Blue Dogs do the work on offense? The score is still tied, 3-3 in the bottom of the 5th, and we'll see if we can answer that question right here as Carter Washburn heads to the plate and steps in the batter's box, working against Cody Bruce.
Bruce back out there for his 2nd inning of work. He's going to have to go against 2, 3, and 4 in this Blue Dogs lineup, which includes Johnson, who's due up 2nd, currently on deck. One of the top hitters in the Corn Belt League this season.
And Will Johnson, we saw that power hit that deep fly ball to right center field. That was an easy stand-up double, and then with the way it tailed and the way it rolled, he was able to make it into third. 0-2 count early for Bruce against Washburn. Here's the 0-2. Washburn turns on it well, but it's going to trail foul. Really good piece of contact from Washburn. Do the 0-2 again. This time it's high for 1-2.
Yeah, on the other side, you got to think that might be the end of the day for Malone. He's currently sitting at 91 pitches through 5 innings, and they did see Connor Barres warming up in the Blue Dogs bullpen.
Malone's fired up. I don't know if you want to stop that adrenaline just yet. Maybe you trot him out there for the 6th and see how far he can go with the gas he's running on, but you've also got a good arm in the bullpen in Barres. Maybe you want to save him a little bit for tomorrow as well if you can make it there. Big swing and a miss there from Washburn, and Bruce has his first strikeout of the 5th inning.
That's a big strikeout there from Bruce on a good hitter in Washburn, but it brings to the plate Will Johnson, who's got a lot of power here at the 3 spot here in this Blue Dogs lineup.
First pitch to Johnson, low. Now it's a 1-0 count. Bruce has came in relief of Jeff Miller and pitched extremely well. Deep ball to left center field, but getting under it is the center fielder Larson for the Filthballers, and it's 2 away.
2 quick outs there for Bruce. It's worked really well so far, but looking to keep that going. So this inning is going to be a much bigger test than last inning, as he's obviously, as we said, facing the heart of this Blue Dogs lineup.
Here's Peterson. Looks at the first pitch for a 1-0. Contact made, but it's going to run foul. And look at that play from assistant coach Peyton Stockwell. And if that name sounds familiar, he was a player in the Corn Belt League just a season ago, and now he's stepped into the coaching side over there at first base, and good hands there. Maybe you should pursue a career in cricket one of these days. As we step back in for the 1-1. Contact made. It's to the shortstop, Hillis. Field is clean. Over to first, to get the 3rd out of the inning. And we'll head over to the top of the 6th, all knotted up at 3. Filthballers look to create a difference here in the top of the 6th when we return. Another call to the mound, this time on the other side for the Royal Blue Dogs. Ryan Malone, after speaking his truth on the way out of the 5th inning to the Filthballers bullpen has been yanked from the game, and in his stead is number 22, Connor Barres from Nebraska Wesleyan for the Royal Blue Dogs. Mike, tell me what you know about Mr. Connor Barres.
Barres with the second most innings on the team, just behind Seamson, who threw the complete game back on Thursday. 26 2/3 innings. It's a 2.35 ERA and a 1.19 WHIP. And opponents are hitting just under 200 on the year against Barres at a 198 opponent's batting average. So he's been tasked with bringing maybe the game to the end, trying to shut down this Filthballers offense as we head into the 6th inning. Kind of that feeling of the game where everyone's starting to tighten up, as chance to head to the Corn Belt League Championship on the line.
And for the Royal Blue Dogs, you've got a couple of good options here. If you're looking ahead to tomorrow, I mean, Seamson could probably go again after throwing on Thursday, maybe in relief, but then you've got Logan Lake Brinkman still out there. Barres, if he only throws 1 inning, could still technically go tomorrow. And Stribling, and a lot of good options for the Royal Blue Dogs. Like I just mentioned, a very, very deep pitching arsenal for the Corn Belt League regular season champions.
Yeah, all the guys you just mentioned have more than 20 innings pitched, and only one of them has, and the highest of those guys, the highest ERA of those guys is a 3.4 from Late Brinkman. So, as we said at the top of the broadcast, this Blue Dogs team with the lowest team ERA of any team in the league.
As the first out is made there, Mahacek fielded the ball, said, "I'll do it myself," and walked over to first to step on the bag for the first out of the top of the 6th inning. And like you said, lowest ERA for the Royal Blue Dogs. And, well, the team in the final that we already know is in the final is the Red Raiders. They sit right below them in second with overall team ERA 2.97 on the season for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, you were talking about earlier how the games we were talking about last year, and the Bombers and the Filthballers in the semifinal. Well, we didn't mention that the Red Raiders were the 8th seed in the entire tournament. I think it was 6-21 last season. What a turnaround this season, as they now will have a chance to take down one of these two teams tomorrow night at 6.
It's always interesting to see how teams develop and change and how many players each team can retain throughout the summers, as the Filthballers went on that magical 3-peat, and they're looking for their 4th consecutive title. As it's another arm up and throwing in the Royal Blue Dogs bullpen. It's Garrett Seamson, the man with the most innings pitched on this Royal Blue Dogs team. So maybe an inning each, and then we'll see who can go tomorrow for the Royal Blue Dogs if they're able to pull this one out. As it's now 2 away for the Filthballers.
I would be really surprised to see if Seamson were to throw, because he, as we said, had a complete game back on Thursday, threw 105 pitches, so I'd be very shocked to see if he came in relief today.
This one a slow dribble that rolls foul. So it'll be an 0-1 count here for the batter and Tristan Brandt. Slow walk back, correction there, that's Corey Bantam. Saw Brandt in the on-deck circle and got a little too excited to see him head towards home plate. The flow and all, I was hoping to see him at bat, but it's still Bantam after the foul ball. 0-1 count for the man from DMAC. Contact again, it's going to be 0-2.
Bantam, the 8 hitter in this lineup. So if he were to get out here, it'd be 9, 10 in the top of the order, where the Filthballers do up in the top of the 7th.
Contact made from Bantam. It's another foul ball. 3 consecutive foul balls to start off the at-bat for the extra hitter. Working against Connor Barres, who just came in this inning. Already got 2 away, looking for the 3rd. Pitch is low for 1-2. Barres wastes no time when he gets ready for his next pitch as he gets set here for the 1-2. Contact, another foul ball. Good one-handed snag there by Tristan Brandt, the extra hitter on deck, to throw it back over to Barres. And we'll go again with the 1-2 and 2 away. Another foul ball, the fourth of the at-bat now for Corey Bantam, who is just absolutely fighting in that batter's box. Ball in the dirt for 2-2, and just like that, the count is battled back even.
Tristan Brandt on deck, sitting at 2 for 2 on the day. It's interesting to see what would happen if Bantam got on base.
A fifth foul ball now for Bantam. He's seeing the ball and putting the bat to it, just can't get it in play. As we'll go again for the 2-2. The eighth pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Contact again from Bantam. It's another foul ball. We'll go to pitch 9.
I think that's the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Bantam really battling here.
So watch that pitch, and it's a ball, full count. So how about that from down 0-2, battling through foul balls. Pitch number 11 is a payoff pitch. 2 outs, full count. Swing, contact through the gap, diving by Mahacek, but not able to get it. An 11 pitch at bat for Corey Bantam. Ends with him on first base.
What an at-bat there from Bantam. That 2-2 pitch from Barres. The entire Blue Dogs defense thought it was strike 3. They all started walking off, but moved the count to 3-2. As you were saying, he was down 0-2, but ends up battling all the way back. Saw, I believe it was, yeah, as you said, 11 pitches. So what an at-bat there from Bantam. Barres already up to 19 pitches.
And right on cue, a meeting between head coach Vern Hasty and Barres, seeing if he wants to continue going, or maybe you pull him, let any one of your other pitchers come in and throw a few pitches. As Barres will take a quick walk around his mound and it'll bring up Tristan Brandt, the extra hitter. First pitch outside, 1-0. Two outs. Man on first is Bantam, who reached after an 11-pitch at bat. This one a chopper to the first baseman, Mahacek, who walks over to first. And we'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning with the score still tied 3-3. There's been no runs scored for the past 2 innings. We'll be right back on the Corn Belt League Network. back here is Ryan Malone, now officially listed as the designated hitter after he got relieved by Cody Barres on the mound. But he'll continue on in the batter's box. His night doesn't end just yet. He'll take the first pitch for ball 1. The 1-0 quickly turns to 2-0 for Malone at the dish. Graduated from Bennington High School, just finished 2 years at McCook County Community College. And a broken bat here as a piece of his bat just kind of chipped off and flew away towards the third base line, so he'll have to go get a new one as count sits 2-1. So Malone will head back to his bag and grab a new bat, and we'll have a little bit of time here as Bruce will step back into the mound, kick the dirt around a little bit as he awaits Malone to step back. It's been an outing in relief for Bruce, but it's been a pretty good outing for him since he came in for Miller.
Not trying to jinx anything, but it's been a very solid 2 innings of relief from Bruce so far as Malone finally trots back out there with a new bat. So that was an interesting way. You don't see too many broken bats in this league, but that was an interesting way as it wasn't like a full break. It was just a kind of a long piece of the bat that popped off.
Contact from Malone, but it's lined out to the second baseman.
That ball was stung off the bat of Malone, but Patterson took a couple steps to his right, reached out, made the grab. It's a huge first out as Bruce still having to face this tough Blue Dogs lineup.
They'll bring up Cannon Dumont. Second pitch misses low for ball 2.
Dumont actually came in back in the second for Van Pelt behind the dish, so I do apologize for that one. Any mess ups talking about the Blue Dogs catcher, as it has been Dumont since back in the second inning.
Big swing and a miss there from Dumont, and count now sits at 2-2. Contact, another line out. This one to Burnett.
That was a great play there by Burnett. Hot shot on the hot corner. Burnett did a little jump, able to snag it out of the air. Some two good defensive plays from this infield on hard hit line drives. There's 2 away now.
Got a little too excited there. The voice started to crack as Burnett made the catch. Swung on, fouled for 1-1. Quick little break in the action here as we get the umpires some more Corn Belt League branded balls.
Yeah, as an umpire, usually have a lot of them, but there are certain games where, like this, batters end up fouling off a lot of pitches and need to go and get more frequently.
Outside for 2-1.
Ooh.
That one off the mask of the umpire, so it'll be 3-1.
That was a breaking ball that just crossed up everyone, including Anthony Nino. The ball just snuck past his glove and conked the home plate umpire in the head. Seems to be all right.
Yeah, it seems to be all right, and Nino heads to Bruce to have a little chat about it, make sure that he doesn't get in his own head about accidentally clocking one off the umpire's mask. Count now sits 3-1. Outside for ball 4, and it's going to be a walk for Stribling. And Stribling heads over to first. It'll bring up Jake Butler.
Now batting, the right fielder from Buena Vista University, number 4, Jake Butler.
Score still all knotted up at 3-3. Butler, the right fielder. The pickoff throw to first, not in time. Foul ball for 1-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Bruce with 2 away. Contact. Deep center field, making the catches. Larson, and that'll be the side in the bottom of the 6th. We'll head to the final frame, all knotted up at 3. Don't go anywhere. This is Corn Belt League semifinal baseball on the Corn Belt League Network. And we're back here in the Corn Belt League semifinal Saturday as we get to the final frame in the 7th, all knotted. And the Royal Blue Dogs turn to Will Johnson, previously playing second base, and toss him on the mound. All right, let's talk a little bit about the man they've got in the closing spot, Will Johnson.
Yeah, they've brought out Will Johnson, who has the lowest ERA on this team with a .61 through 11 and a third innings, through 11 appearances in relief, usually known as their closer. But he's here to shut things down in the top half of the 7th against this Filthballers team, who's been sticking around and has taken a tie game into the top half of the 7th here in the semifinal. Coming down to the wire, Arnav. Should be a good finish here to end out semifinal Saturday.
Big swing for the 1-2. As stepping back into the box is Dane Garner from Concordia University, Nebraska. Cuts again on the 1-2 and misses, and it's a first batter strikeout for the new pitcher, Will Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson is brought in, strikes out a lot of hitters. That's his 19th through 11 and 2/3 innings.
Correct me if my math is wrong. That's a little under 2 batters per inning, Mike?
Almost. It's been a very efficient outings from Johnson, as he's only walked 8 hitters, and he has only given up 1 earned run through those 11 and 2/3 innings.
Great stat line from Will Johnson, but he'll face Brennan Hillis, leadoff man for the Filthballers.
Hillis has really stepped it up as of late. Leadoff man here today, sitting on a 2-for-2 game with single, a triple, and a walk. As he's worked himself into a 3-0 count.
Well, you got to think a red light here for Hillis. Even if it is the 7th inning in a semifinal game, just don't want to risk that. Smart move for the red light as it's a 4-pitch walk for Hillis, and he'll head over to first. And it'll bring up Carson Burnett.
This is who you want up if you're the Filthballers coming up. Burnett, Rivers, and Nino all due up, who are all tops on the team in most categories. Big part of this order coming up here, trying to win things here in the top of the 7th, trying to put across a run, give themselves a chance to win it without going to extras.
First pitch strike for Johnson, who has one away and a runner on first. Second pitch just misses high. That one well inside for 2-1.
After that first batter, it seems like Johnson's just lost a little bit of his control.
Mentioned it struck out Dane Garner to start the inning. Chance for 2, closing in on it is the third baseman. The throw straight to first is in time. They got him with the pick. Good work from Stribling and Mahacek. There has been a defensive change. It's actually Mahacek at third now.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
And a quick steal there from Hillis. Just incredible awareness to realize that everyone was sleeping on the play. And he's now at third.
That was an interesting play there from Hillis as he just realized there was no one covering third, started creeping towards third, and then eventually took the bag over there. And he's 90 feet away from the go-ahead run here for the Filthballers. Matthew Rivers, the 3-hitter, up. It's exactly who you want up if you're the Filthballers.
RBI machine. Matthew Rivers from DMAC went 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs yesterday. Had a single in the first inning in his first appearance today as well. Almost leaning into that one as he turned his back to the pitch. That was inside. The count sits 2-1.
He does lead the team in hit by pitches by a lot. Leads the next highest guy. He has 8.
You just got to think it's that stance of his. He's squatting low. He's crowding the plate. Trying to force the pitchers to pitch into his sweet spot, which is that outer half of the zone. Here's a 3-1. In there for strike 2. It's a full count. Rivers steps back in. 3-2 count with 2 away. It's do or die now for the Filthballers unless they're able to hold the Royal Blue Dogs off in the bottom of the 7th. Ball gets through. Hillis with a chance to make it on the wild pitch. He does. The Filthballers take a lead in the top of the 7th inning. It's 4-3.
Not necessarily the way you thought they would bring in that run to score with Rivers at the plate, but he loads the count at 3-2. Then that ball just gets away from Dumont to the backstop. Rivers will reach on a walk, and Hillis comes in to score from third, and the Filthballers take a 4-3 lead here in the top half of the 7th.
Pitch up and inside on Anthony Nino. As he'll look to push Rivers and add on to this Filthballers lead. High fly ball. Deep right center field. It's fallen to the warning track. Big hit for Nino. Rivers is flying around the bases. He's going to score. Nino there in time. A chance for him to go home, but he'll stay at third. He'll take the RBI. It's 5-3. Omaha Filthballers on top.
Nino follows up the passed ball. Score from Hillis, and he drills that one into the right center gap, doing almost exactly what Hillis did earlier. And that brings in another run, and now the Filthballers take a 5-3 lead. More insurance sitting 90 feet away, as that looks like Cooper McCoy will come in to run, courtesy run for Nino the catcher. And it's a big 2-out rally here for the Filthballers.
This one a chopper to the shortstop. Over to first, is in there in time to get outside Patterson. But the Filthballers have done their job in the top of the 7th. They lead 5-3. Royal Blue Dogs need a miracle to come back and push this game to more innings or have a chance to walk it off in the bottom of the 7th when we return. Don't go anywhere. Russ remains on the mound in crunch time for the Omaha Filthballers. They took a 5-3 lead on the top of the 7th. 3 outs away from advancing to their 4th consecutive Corn Belt League postseason tournament final, but standing in their way is the Royal Blue Dogs. First up, it's Jackson Van Pelt. They've got 9, 10, and 1 due up, so bottom of the order, plus the leadoff man for the Royal Blue Dogs as they're in desperation mode here. First pitch strike, 0-1 count.
Yeah, Bruce, 42 pitches through 3 innings of work so far. He's done his job up to this point, and he's looking to close the door now.
Roped over the first baseman, Rivers, and it's fair. Moving to second is Van Pelt. It'll be close. The throw not there in time. The throw was there in time, excuse me, but the tag not applied by Hillis.
That was an incredible throw from Garner out there in right. So he was all the way to the right field wall. Threw a ball on a line, one bounce right to the second baseman. Just unable to apply the tag in time. And Van Pelt is on with a leadoff double, and that's exactly what the Blue Dogs needed to start things off here in the bottom of the 7th.
Trace Mahacek at the dish, representing the tying run. Silliman on deck. Takes ball 1. Van Pelt, the double, puts him on second. Thought he was going to get tagged out there. Dane Garner, an absolute bomb of a throw from the right field wall, like you said, right on the money to the shortstop who's covering second baseman in Hillis, but unable to apply the tag. Mahacek turns on this one. It's in foul territory. Rivers tracing it down. Did he catch it? He did. The throw over to third, not in time, so advancing the runner is Mahacek. And Van Pelt's 90 feet away from getting one back for the Royal Blue Dogs.
If you're the Filthballers, you don't care about the run on third. That run doesn't matter. The run that matters is the one that's at the plate right now. And what an incredible catch over there in the kind of the foul ground warning track, foul territory dirt, as Rivers had to race all the way, kind of made the basket catch over near the first base foul wall. It's a big first out here for the Filthballers.
First base ball working against Silliman.
Christian Berry, I believe, courtesy running over there at third for the catcher Van Pelt, who led things off with a double here in the bottom of the seventh.
Don't want a sac fly if you're Silliman, because that'll push you to 2 outs. As he check swings, but it's still in there for a strike for 1-1. The 1-1 low and inside for 2-1. Tying run at home plate right now. Pitch inside, 3-1. Don't want to walk him if you're Bruce. No one active in the Filthballers bullpen as of right now. You've got Washburn on deck. In there for a strike. It's going to be a full count.
Someone thought that was ball 4, but home plate umpire calls it strike 2. We've got ourselves a payoff pitch from Bruce.
Runner on third. 3-2 count, 1 away. Inside, ball 4. It's going to be runners on the corners with 1 out for Washburn.
This is who you want up if you're the Blue Dogs. This is the heart of the order. So you've got Washburn, then you got Johnson on deck. If you get Silliman to second and bring up Johnson, that would be huge, as trying to tie the game.
Tying run on first, winning run at the plate. Check back to first. Not in time. In there for a strike. 0-1 now on Washburn. Big swing from Washburn. He misses 0-2.
That was a big fastball there from Bruce. Just blew it right by Washburn. This moves the count to 0-2 now.
0-2 now with 1 away. Huge pitch for both sides. Momentum swings no matter the outcome. And it's a check back to Silliman. Maybe that's the only occasion in which the momentum doesn't swing. Here's Bruce. Runner goes. Foul ball.
Silliman was flying with the pitch. Most likely trying to take the double play ball out of order. But you got to be careful with a strike him out, throw him out. If you're Silliman, it's not how you would want things to end.
However, I think Nino at home is just going to hold on to it if he sees the runner go. You don't want to risk that throw, maybe an errant throw, and then you've got the tying run coming in. That pitch just outside for 1-2.
It's a good eye there from Washburn So that 0-2 pitch that was borderline on the outside part of the plate, but takes ball one outside.
1-2 now. Bruce against Washburn. Runner goes. Throw over, faked. And runners in scoring position. 2-2 count.
Sorry. Silliman with a lot of speed over there at second. So anything in the outfield, they're most likely going to send him and try and tie things up here in the bottom of the seventh.
And it's no doubles defense from the Filthballers outfielders all the way back. 2-2 inside. Full count. The tension could not be higher. And instead they got him. A pitch inside, but they're going to say it catches the zone. And it's 2 away, 2 runners in scoring position. All the pressure on Will Johnson.
Yeah, Washburn couldn't believe the call on a 2-2 pitch. He thought it was well inside, but the home plate umpire punches him out, and there's 2 away for the best hitter on this team in Will Johnson.
This one, a grounder to second. Over to first. Is this the game? Yes, it is. The Filthballers are headed to their 4th straight Corn Belt League title game. And what a way to do it. The grounder to second with 2 runners in scoring position. Patterson to River to end it. And an incredible back and forth game, Mike. Can't say enough about the Corn Belt League game between these 2 teams. Battled, and there's no way to put it. Both of these teams absolutely battling each other. What a game, Mike. What a game.
What a game indeed, as you couldn't have asked for a better way to send us off to the championship game. 1 seed getting upset in the semifinal. This Filthballers team on the last day of the regular season was almost the 7 seed, but they pull out the win tonight here. A gritty, hard-fought win, and they will head to try and make it 4 in a row tomorrow night.
No matter the changes on this Filthballer team, sure, you changed the head coach from last year to this year. Sure, you don't win as many games as you did last year. The winning DNA is just engraved into that green jersey. 4 straight title game appearances, 3 straight titles already. They're the reigning back-to-back-to-back holders. They're looking to make it 4 tomorrow at 6 p.m. For the Royal Blue Dogs, an incredible regular season, finishing the regular season as champions, and you can't say enough about the team that Coach Vern Hasty coached this summer. I mean, talent up and down the roster, pitching to the nines, really, and an incredible showing from them as well this entire season, but especially in this game.
I mean, yeah, as we were saying, led the league in team ERA, and so many guys that were just able to come in whenever they needed them. But what a season from the Blue Dogs. Obviously doesn't end the way they want it, but from the other side, the Filthballers will try and make it back-to-back-to-back-to-back tomorrow night against another very good pitching staff in the Red Raiders.
That'll do it for our coverage here. We'll be back in a few moments with our Player of the Game interview, but also want to remind you tomorrow. It all comes down to tomorrow at 6 p.m. on Sunday. Myself, Ethan McCormick on the call. The rest of the Corn Belt League broadcast crew ready to give you the action here on YouTube. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be right back after a quick break with our Player of the Game, Anthony Nino. After a back-and-forth battle between the Royal Blue Dogs and the Omaha Filthballers, it's the 4 seed who upsets the 1 seed with a 5-3 victory. And we bring you into the booth here for our Player of the Game interview. My name is Arnav Pokhrel. I'm joined by Anthony Nino from Allen County Community College. Anthony, an incredible performance, but it was capped off by that one big RBI triple in the 7th. Talk to me about that play. What did you see on that pitch, and how were you able to get such good contact on that ball?
I mean, I've been hitting line drives all season, but they've just been getting caught, unlucky. But, I told myself one day it's going to get down, one hard hit's going to get down. And, I got that good fastball that I like and hit it to right center for a triple.
And you mentioned it, coming into this game, you were really one of the lower guys on the team in terms of batting average, but you led the team in RBIs.
Yep.
What's that been like? You're getting out, but you're scoring those runs. How do you deal with that mentally? Because it's not as efficient, or it's not as important as those guys who may be getting those higher BAs, but you're the guy scoring all the runs.
I mean, I pretty much kept the same mentality the whole season. I've been hitting balls left and right, straight to people. It's just, been unlucky. It hasn't been going down, but, I've been able to get these RBIs, and somehow today, that ball dropped finally. So, I'm excited for that. And
yeah, and for the next game now, tomorrow, you look ahead to this championship game, an incredible team in the Red Raiders with a very deep pitching staff. How do you think your team compares to them? Kind of what's your game plan going into tomorrow?
I think we've had a couple good games against them. I think we'll be ready for them. Our pitching is going to be really good. We're going to throw our number 1 guy, so I think it'll be a really good game against them. So, excited for tomorrow and stuff.
Yeah, and how are you planning on just kind of getting after it tonight? Resting, rehydrating, and what's your game plan from when you wake up tomorrow to when you come to the ballpark?
Well, tonight I got to ice my arm, make sure, in case I play the field tomorrow, I'll be throwing good and feeling good and stuff like that. So, I'm drink tons of water, just ice up and rest for tomorrow.
For sure. There you have it. Anthony Nino, 2 for 3, 2 RBIs, including an RBI triple in the 7th that won the game for the Filthballers. I want to thank you for coming in, the player from Allen County Community College. And that's the final of our semifinals here from J.J. Isaacson Field. Once again, the final is tomorrow between the Red Raiders and the Omaha Filthballers. Myself, Ethan McCormick, on the call, as well as the rest of the Corn crew for that one. But from myself and Mike Knockenhauer from tonight, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's been an incredible semifinal Saturday, and we'll be back for Championship Sunday tomorrow. We'll hope to see you there. Have a great night, everybody.